Welcome to the Ecommerce Alley podcast, where we believe the great brands are built on passionate leadership, smart operations, and of course, powerful marketing. I am your host, Josh Coffey, and I'm also the founder of the Ecommerce Alley. And for the last 12 years, we've been helping e-commerce businesses grow and gain freedom in their businesses, usually using a lot of our frameworks and systems. And with me, I have my co-host, Dylan, the man counts.
That's me. Hello.
And this is an exciting episode for two reasons. Reason number one is this is our first time video podcasting in, 6 months?
It's been a long time. We did was it 200th episode? I think our 200th episode was video, and we were upstairs in like the dusty, you don't know what's up there, second floor. And now we're down here in the
dungeon that we always talked about.
Yeah, the also dusty, but kind of more moist dungeon. So
this place is So all of that to say, this is gonna be a very visual episode, and moving forward, we are back on the video podcast and dropping on YouTube. It's kind of funny. We always made fun of the dungeon, the basement down here. But if you go look at if you go look around here, Dylan can pan some shots if you're on YouTube. Like, this is a really cool space, actually. I mean, it literally looks like we're in like a Roman
it looks
basement.
Really cool.
Like you're in Rome and you're down in this basement with this old stone wall and this this tunnel behind us with a fire going. Like, it's actually really, really neat.
I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean,
this is beautiful.
If you were looking at the video, I'm looking over here because there's a screen right below this main camera. If you're looking at the video, you would not even know we were in a basement. I mean, I guess maybe the stone gives it away, but also maybe we just hired someone that's like really good at carving styrofoam.
Yeah, no,
let's just say that's what it is.
This place is actually over 120 years old. It's on the National Historic Registry.
Sure looks it.
Yeah, our building's pretty old. Yeah, it's pretty old here. So that's the first reason I'm really excited. We're back on video, and it's also because this is going to be a very, very visual episode, which leads me to excitement point number 2, and that is that Breezeway is officially open for non-clients to use, which is our software, which is pretty much, we kind of put it as we basically built the ads manager that Meta wishes that they built.
I was trying to explain what Breezeway was to my parents last night, and my parents don't know anything about ads manager or anything. So I just basically explained it as, imagine you were building a robot, and every week you added a new limb to the robot. A new arm, a new leg, but every week you added a new limb that looked completely different from all the other limbs, and you didn't remove a limb. That's how Meta has built Ads Manager to this point. So it's just like a monstrosity of stuff, where Breezeway is just clean, simple, and it really simplifies everything Meta's trying to do into a really easy to understand one-stop shop.
And it's also based on like being in the trenches. So like Meta, and we'll talk about this episode, I don't know how long this is going to go, but this is going to be like in the weeds kind of an episode, because we're going to be showing you Breezeway. Dylan's going to be screen sharing, walking through it, showing you what it's like, what the benefits of it. But we'll dive deeper into this. But ultimately, this is for direct-to-consumer brands that run Meta ads and want to have a good pulse on how to make decisions in their business. In Meta's Ads Manager, there's so much, and there's so much crap you don't need, and it's hard to read breakdowns of things notice trends, and you don't know what should I kill, maintain, or scale. And so we're bringing to the table like data scientists backed statistical probability of this campaign ad set ad being able to scale and in visual trends on things. And I mean, we're going to get into like what features Breezeway has that are really, really neat. But ultimately, we have been using this for a long time now. We've been building Breezeway for like 2.5 years, I think. Something like that.
I mean, I think our partners have been working on it probably even a little bit longer than that. But we got involved probably, they may be 2.5 years. We got involved about 2 years ago. Yeah,
and so we have built Breezeway with anyone who is in our communities. They'll kind of very likely know Cliff Brown, and Cliff Brown actually began as a client of ours, but he has a whole software company. Like, he's just wildly experienced. He's a data scientist, really, really smart guy.
Thank goodness.
He helped us build, he helped us build like tons of statistical spreadsheets for our ad lab methodologies and stuff for our meta testing frameworks for clients back in the day. And he's been along the journey questioning everything through a mathematical lens, which I've always appreciated. And we've always had this At first, it kind of started out to, he started out to solve the attribution problem that Meta experiences, just kind of like Triple Whale or Hyros or Commonly would, or Segmetrics or something. And he began with that, but it's actually morphed into something way better than that, because attribution isn't as big of a problem as people actually think that it is. In fact, we tell people you don't need an attribution tool. Like, it's not worth paying $1,000 a month to Hyros only for attribution or Triple Whale or whatever.
Yep.
And so we've been building Breezeway for over 2 years now, and basically, from managing tens of millions in ad spend, we have started to learn what metrics matter, what you make decisions based on, what are benchmarks, and for e-commerce in particular, what are the core metrics that you need? What are the benchmarks for those metrics? And then what do you do based on those metrics practically? And so I'm super excited. Today we're going to do a full walkthrough. Dylan's going to kind of lead the ship here, and I'll just be the side commentator. We're gonna kind of screen share live demo, show you how Breezeway works. So if you're listening to this right now, we're gonna verbally talk through it, so you kind of understand what Dylan's doing and some of the features, because it's really cool to know, even if you can't watch it. But I would encourage you, pop over to YouTube, because this is going to be on video and it's going to help a ton. But that said,
and also subscribe while you're over there, because we'll be doing YouTube video podcasts from now on. So if you want to see this cool set and join us on video, go subscribe on YouTube. And
Dylan, what is the promo we're going to run for everybody?
Oh yeah, so the promo, I'm really excited about the promo, because it's something that it's really unique. We're trying to think, like, we really want to make Breezeway stand out when it first launches. So correct me if I'm wrong, we're only doing 25. We're only opening 25 seats.
We're going to let 20. So we have over 100 clients in Breezeway using it every day. And we're going to open up 25 seats.
Yeah, it's going to be really limited. But the reason it's going to be limited is because every person of the 25 is going to be able to get a one-on-one onboarding to Breezeway, which is really exciting. It's going to just kind of help jumpstart your usage into Breezeway, and also just kind of give you the ability to walk through with me, how to use it, how we use it, all of that stuff. It'll be really, really great.
Yeah, and we'll be able to help you set up like your BreezeBrain is what it's called, based on metrics that we recommend. So like your KPIs for break even and target ROAS and CPAs and stuff, like we've just done this so much that we know what those should start to shape up to be. We know, so we're going to do VIP one-on-one video onboarding with you, and that's why we're limiting it to 25 people. And so the cool thing is, if you're listening or you're watching this on YouTube right now, you have a head start.
Yeah, you
because we are actually going to we're going to email our list in 4 days on Thursday, and you're getting this podcast on Monday. If all the slots are filled by Thursday, hey, it makes our life easy. We won't even email our list, but I promise you, by end of Thursday, I'll send one email and all the slots we filled. We have people that have just been on edge, being like, "When are you going to offer this to non-clients?"
I can't tell you the number of emails that we've gotten from people like, "Can you just give me the link, please?" And we're like, "We're just not ready yet." Yeah. We want it to be perfect, and it's finally perfect. Close to perfect, you know?
Yeah, it'll constantly be improving.
Yeah.
And just, like the pricing of Breezeway is not this crazy expensive tool. That's why we're only allowing 25 people. We're doing this because we want to make sure that we get you onboarded. Yep. We support you in that. We've done this for so long. I mean, we coach every month. The amount of ad accounts we get to optimize, like we really know a lot of stuff. If you're listening and you're not a client of ours, we really know what works. We know a lot of benchmarks. We know what your target should be. We can help you establish it. So like this call is almost like a consult. Besides the setup, it's good. It's almost like you're going to get consulting in here that's going to value you more than what you're paying for this, for the actual software that only starts at $49 a month.
Yeah.
So like,
and you know me, because I'll be the one doing the calls. I'll try and stay on the rails, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, because Dylan's one of our coaches here. So I mean, yesterday you were on a 90-minute call. It became 3 hours coaching clients.
Actually, I think it's only scheduled for an hour.
Oh,
maybe we've bumped it to 90, but it went 3 hours no matter what.
We just over deliver.
I mean, you could consider that a bad thing, but I don't think anyone on the call thought it was a bad thing, because there was a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead. Let's dive into this. With first of all, the problem that we have seen with Meta over time. And Dylan, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about this, because you're obviously in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Meta is not built by advertisers. right? Like the Meta Ads Manager is not built by advertisers, it's built by software developers. So when you approach it, it feels like it was built by software developers. So you have a lot of data. You also, the thing that annoys me the most about the Meta Ads Manager is the column presets. It's such a small thing, but that just goes to show how it just out of tune Meta is from actually advertising and actually optimizing ads. None of the columns are set up correctly. And Meta assumes that you will know how to set it up correctly, to optimize your ads correctly. And, we work with hundreds of clients and we know that's not the case. People just don't know. Meta Ads Manager is such a high barrier to entry for almost anybody that's trying to use it. And, if you're an advanced user of Meta Ads and you've been using it for a while, you probably still get annoyed with it because they're changing things. They add settings. They move settings you're used to using.
You go to duplicate an ad, and then suddenly all of the enhancements are turned back on, and you have to return them all off, and site links are on, and so. Actually, if you're a power user of Meta, and you then you're gonna like this even more because the problem with Meta has so many glitches. You're gonna be more aware than everyone, and we're in it more than anybody. So we know all the quirks a ton, which just makes it a higher barrier to entry for people.
Yep.
But then even on the columns concept, it is valuable to know AOV by campaign, ad set, and ad, because certain
it can change
campaigns,
drastically.
But Meta doesn't have a pre-built average order value.
And then you have to know how to create those custom columns. You have to know how to
website conversion rate by ad set, or campaign. There are so many metrics that Meta just doesn't have.
Yep.
And it doesn't. And the other thing too is it doesn't tell you what to do. So it has the generic things, but it doesn't tell you what to do. And here's it doesn't say, hey, this
or
is...
tell you if things are good.
Yeah.
Like there's telling you what to do, but then there's just also, am I doing good or not? Are my CPMs high? Are they low? Is my ROAS good? Should I be okay at a 1.2 ROAS? I don't know.
Is my cost per click?
Yeah.
Is my add to cart cost?
No one knows. They're just looking at these numbers, and I think most people are left to just go to Reddit, or join the Alley or the NPM, go to Reddit and just ask, hey, what's a good cost per click? And then you don't even know what information you're getting there. But
yeah, and I would also say this is where we get to say by advertisers for advertisers, by e-commerce for e-commerce, because it's kind of yes, you're right. Most softwares are built by software people. They're not built by practitioners.
Yep.
And so as practitioners who actively use our software every single day ourselves, we have a pretty good idea as to what you really need and what other people need that are very similar to you.
Yep.
I think it's amazing. And the other thing is switching between all kinds of different tools and stuff, and spending hours building reports.
Yep. That's something that our clients do, because previously we were using a manual dashboard, what we call a CEO dashboard, and it's the best spreadsheet. I love our CEO dashboard because it shows every metric from every tool, anything that you really would need to make in-depth, detailed decisions on your business. It has it all, and it's relatively easy to look at because it's just week by week, day by day, month by month. You can see the trends and all of that, but you have to enter every single piece of data. And if you want to do daily, which we recommend, that gets really hard to do. But it pays off. We've seen it pay off time and time again. People entering the data, we can go back and we even encourage people to leave notes in their CEO dashboard. Hey, what did you change a week ago that all of a sudden your AOV dropped $10? So you can go back to that, but it's all done manually. And in Breezeway, there's an automatic CEO dashboard that still pulls in the same data that the manual one does, but it's all automatic, so you don't have to think about it. But you can still leave notes, and the notes all go up to the weekly, so you can look at your weekly notes based on the daily. It can do a lot of really cool things. There's custom metrics in there that we can pull because of the data that we're pulling from Shopify. It's really cool. There's almost not a ton of attribution, but some little pieces of attribution starting to show its way in the CEO dashboard, which is really cool.
I love it. Let's go ahead. Can you?
Yeah,
I'll let you kind of lead here. I'd love if you could just talk through the main components, and then let's just start from the BreezeBrain and kind of go from there.
Yeah. So there's obviously a home tab. So that's, the home tab. The metrics tab here is just visuals. So we'll get to that. CEO dashboard, we just talked about that. There's the ads manager, which is obviously my favorite part, the customer journey, and then the BreezeBrain. So we'll start with the BreezeBrain because, once again, this was something that was a manual thing for our clients as well. Now, this is still kind of manual, but essentially this is like I like to call it the intelligence layer, just because it sounds cool. It's the intelligence layer of Breezeway. This is pretty much, because Breezeway does make recommendations to you. Breezeway will tell you what it thinks you should do based on how your ads are performing. So the BreezeBrain is where you put in your actual business metrics, because a lot of times, if you can find a tool that gives recommendations at all, those recommendations are going to be built on general recommendations. You know, if you have an AOV around here, it's probably fine. These recommendations are built on your business metrics. So you come in here and you put in your AOV, your cost of goods, your credit card fees, shipping costs, fulfillment costs, and it spits out all of this. It spits out your gross profit margin, your gross profit, blended ROAS, blended CPA, and then your break-even ROAS, target ROAS, break-even CPA, target CPA. So now this is giving you the information that you need. So this answers question number 1, where you go to Meta, you're looking at your ROAS. Do I need a 1.2? Do I need a 1.7? Do I need a 3? I don't know. This tells you, based on your AOV, your cost of goods, your credit card fees, your shipping costs. We thought through everything because we don't want you to miss something here. We want all costs thrown in here, and you get your break even and your target ROAS. Your break even says, hey, if you are hitting this, you are acquiring customers for $0. You're not making any money, but you're also not losing any money. Target ROAS is, hey, you're doing good. You can actually scale at this ROAS. That's the ROAS that you can feel comfortable at. And same for CPA. And then here you can insert your target non-ad revenue and target ad spend percentage. This kind of helps calculate some of these blended ROAS and CPA metrics over here. And then BreezeScore, we'll talk about that in a second. Do you have something?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. And then like you can also, we share the benchmarks that we see and what we recommend.
Yep.
And then you can override and customize them. So if you look at like, we give benchmarks values on like 3 main areas we look at is cost per outbound click, cost per add to cart, and website conversion rate. Now Breezeway will show you all of these for any of your campaigns, ad sets, or ads, because it's obviously integrated with, it has all ads manager integrated with Meta. And so we give you benchmarks. Like we'll say, hey, your cost per click should be less than $1.50 per click. And there are some varying industries. It'll say cost per add to cart should be 10% of your AOV, and website conversion rate should be 2 to 5%. High ticket will be a little bit lower. So like it's literally guided by the benchmarks of what we see across the board. Yep. And it's preset, but you can tailor it. So you can go in and set your benchmarks for cost per click, your benchmarks for cost per add to cart and website conversion rate. And then what'll happen is it feeds the BreezeBrain into your ads manager, and then that's where it will give you data based on your margins, your break-evens, your targets, your benchmarks for cost per click, add to cart, and conversion rate. And then you'll be able to see, and it color codes and gives you Breeze scores based on your own metrics. And that's how the BreezeBrain ties into this whole thing.
Yep.
Because all the recommendations or all of the metrics in your ads manager will be based on your particular business, based on your profitability and all of your metrics.
Yeah, and obviously we start you out with benchmarks that we think would be decent for you. But here's the thing: if throughout this video, this podcast, as you're watching me click through Breezeway, if you are like, this looks like maybe a little like a lot, I want to reassure you, we have training videos not only on how to use Breezeway technically, but then also just like general recommendations on how we use Breezeway. So it's not just like, click this button to do this. It's like, here's how we make decisions with Breezeway. Here's how we change things in Breezeway. Here's how we update things here. So the training videos here are super, super valuable. But let's move on to the ads manager, which obviously is my favorite part. We had to go over the BreezeBrain first because the BreezeBrain sets the stage for the ads manager. Like Josh said, the BreezeScore and color coding and all of that all come from the BreezeBrain. So now that we've covered the BreezeBrain, let's go to the ads manager because, like I said, this is my favorite part. So last 30 days, I'm actually going to go to the ad set level because it looks a little more interesting. So here's last 30 days for a brand. You can see already right out of the gates how different this looks. Now, one thing, we did try to make it feel similar, feel familiar. Mm-hmm. So for those of you that are using Ads Manager, maybe you are an advanced user of Ads Manager, we didn't want to scare you away from using Breezeway because it feels too different than the Meta Ads Manager. But also, we wanted to add things in here that are just major quality of life improvements for optimizing ads. So like I said, you're already starting to see we've got some color coding over here and the spend trend. So I want to talk about the BreezeScore first because this is the data science starting to peek through here in Breezeway. The BreezeScore is essentially Breezeway's confidence score of your profitability. So you'll start to see here the BreezeScore change colors and the percentages move day over day based on how confident Breezeway is that you're profitable and on track to be profitable. So it uses your break-even CPA, or I guess based on what you put in your BreezeBrain, you can choose if it's ROAS or CPA. CPA is for subscription typically. You want to use ROAS mainly. But you can pick what BreezeScore uses to give you that BreezeScore, and you'll start to see the BreezeScore change based on your ROAS. So for instance, we have a 2.4 ROAS here, which gives you a 94%. Now what's interesting is this gives you a 1.9, but it's a 93%. So what Breezeway is saying is that even though the ROAS is slightly different here between the two, it's equally confident that you're still profitable. Which
it's 93% pretty much.
Right? Yeah, so it's a 1% difference, right? But what's cool here is that sometimes people can overthink their ROAS. Well, I have a ROAS here of 2.4 versus a ROAS of 1.9. I don't like the 1.9, but the BreezeScore is telling you it's fine. It's just as profitable as this one. Now, obviously not as profitable, but still keep in mind that this is going to kind of boil everything down for you to a really easy to understand metric here. So when things look bad, and actually I just recorded some of the training videos, so I remember a range here that wasn't super good. So I can show not so good BreezeScore in this campaign. Maybe this is on the ad level. So here you'll start to see BreezeScores showing yellows, and there's no reds on this one. But you can see how those colors change. And look, a 42% versus an 83%. So you're going to start to see the BreezeScore is giving you, essentially it's meant to give you confidence. You're looking at this, you see 69%. Now, if it's not red, it's not awful. You want to really be above 50, 60%. So as you start to get above that 50, 60%, you can start to be more confident in how your ads are performing.
And I want to put a note here. So you see some of these on here. So like you get a BreezeScore on a campaign level, an ad set level, and an ad level.
Yep.
And sometimes, your spend makes a big difference here, but sometimes you'll see limited data, or you'll see a red BreezeScore. Like it'll say like if it's a 10% or less is red. Is that it? Or is it under 20?
I think it's under 20, yeah.
Under 20. You'll see a red if it's like 20 to 90% or whatever, or 20, I forget what 20 to 90 is yellow, yes, and then 90 plus is green.
Yep.
So if you, like this kind of solves the problem of a lot of people will like launch an ad and then within one day they're like, oh, I have to kill it.
Yes.
It's like, no. It'll say limited data. Click on that limited data one there just as an example. And it'll say, oh, well, that's bad. Yeah, I guess that's a bad example. It'll tell you, because impressions.
There we go. Here's a 0.
Here's a red. Yeah, there's a red right there. And what it's looking for, like it'll show you the BreezeScore needs a minimum number of impressions, and then it'll compare the purchase volume based on those impressions. So there are a lot of factors that go into this BreezeScore with our calculations here.
It also takes into consideration your CPM, so it knows how much your impressions cost, and it can base that off of how much you spent based on your ROAS. It's a really in-depth system that's powering the BreezeScore.
Yeah, you won't be able to copy it, but that's all right.
Yeah.
So like you'll see things that it's like, it'll say limited data, and it'll say, no, you have like 500 impressions, and you need 9,000 minimum impressions to have any degree of statistical probability one way or another, to have any kind of significance, because you just can't have that much significance if you have one purchase out of like 247 impressions. It's just not enough significance. That's just random noise. And so like the thing about this is like this comes back to our whole saying that we say all the time, like marketing is a mathematical equation, not an emotional decision. And this allows you to be mathematical, because I could log in here and say, I see greens, I see one yellow, I see a limited data, and maybe I see a red. And it's like, okay, well, this just tells you, go pay attention in this area and this area. Yep. Don't get cute. Don't overthink the rest of the stuff, right? Just let the things do their thing and focus where you need to focus.
And then it just goes even further than that. Now, obviously you're seeing the trends, and I want to talk about that here in a second, but I want to talk first about the color coding that you're seeing here on CPA, ROAS, cost per click, add to cart, AOV, because this to me is one of the best features about Breezeway. Because yes, the BreezeScore gives you a really high level understanding of how, whether it's an ad set, an ad, or a campaign is performing. But as you start to scroll to the right, and the way that we've set this up with the columns, because notice I didn't have to change the columns. You don't have to have column presets, because the columns here are set up exactly how we use them to optimize hundreds of clients' ad accounts. So these columns are exactly what we use. So as you scroll towards the right, you can start to identify very quickly the first thing you need to work on.
Yeah, this is, I just want to, I'm going to talk through this for anyone who's actually just listening and they're in the car or something, they're not seeing this. So
just go back to YouTube and watch it.
Go back to YouTube.
It really is better on YouTube.
It is better, but like it color codes the cells based on your Breeze metrics. So like one of the things we're looking at, one of these has all of the ROAS of all of these different like ad sets. I don't know, there's like 8 rows of ad sets in this campaign here. And 6 of them are all green, 2.44 ROAS, 1.95, 2.09. They're all like green because they're within KPI. But then there's this one down there that is like the whole cell is red. And and if you hover over it, it actually says ROAS low KPI, and then it gives you some like fixes there or whatever. But it's really nice to skim and just look for, even in other metrics besides the BreezeScore, just skim different metrics like cost per click, ROAS, cost per add to cart, and look for the yellows, the reds, and of course the greens you don't have to focus as much on.
And we could probably start to see more if we look at the ad level. You'll see a little more discrepancy between everything here.
Yeah.
So let's look at this actually. Okay, so we're seeing some more different colors here. Well, maybe. She just has too good of ads apparently.
Go to the far right. There were some reds there around cost per add to carts.
AOV is not as interesting because I think her AOV just needs to be updated in the BreezeBrain, because this is pretty accurate to her AOV here. But let me try and find, because there was, I think this October timeframe did work pretty well for.
But while you're looking for that, I just want to say here's why this is valuable, because like let's say you have your cost per click metrics are fantastic, and then your cost per add to cart metrics are also fantastic, but your website conversion is bad. Well, what does that tell you? Well, you may not actually have an ad issue because you're getting the clicks, and in fact, they're intent-based people because they're adding to cart, but they're dropping off before they complete the conversion. And so because your conversion rate is low, what does that mean? It means you need to go figure out what the heck is happening between the add to cart and the conversion. And you know what? We even have like fixes for that based on that metric. And there are things you could do, I'm not going to get into teaching mode here, that you could do to just solve that. And then you don't even have, and then everything upstream looks a lot better because you just solve that.
Yeah, so I pulled up a better time range here that shows some not so good metrics, because this is really, Breezeway is great when your metrics are good. Breezeway is fantastic when your metrics are bad, because it makes it really easy to identify it. So first off here, you can see a little difference in BreezeScore, but once again, as we scroll left to right, it's going to show you down the funnel. It's not, the numbers aren't just in here in some order that we thought would be fun. These are showing you, well, what's the first thing they do? They click, then they add to cart, then they purchase, but what do they purchase, and what's their conversion rate of that purchase? So as you scroll left to right, you see down the funnel, and you can optimize. So the first thing you see is red is the thing that you can work on. Now, obviously ROAS and CPA is at the front because that's the most important, but so let's go through here. So what's really interesting, right away, you can see yellow ROAS for this specific ad. And then, well, why do we think it might be yellow? Well, we're starting to see red right out of the gates. First thing, the cost per click is too high on this ad. So let's keep going down. Now, obviously, when cost per click is high, it's also just downstream going to raise costs. AOV was also lower on this ad, and it's highlighted red because of that, compared to 70 here. Some of these were a little lower, 48, 57. But already you can start to see $66 AOV versus a $70 AOV, and way higher add to cart percentage of AOV. It's way over that 10% that we want it to be. Now, interestingly, conversion rate is higher, but once again, not going to get into teaching mode as to why that is. Now, the other thing, so obviously, as you scroll, you see the colors. Josh touched on this a little bit, but this is where Breezeway starts to give recommendations, because it's not just color coded. Because I could tell you your cost per click's bad, but if you don't know how to fix it, then that doesn't really offer you any value. So if you hover over any red metric, it's actually going to give you a breakdown of what causes a metric to be red. So in this instance, cost per click is high. Your ad cost per click is too high, most likely due to lack of clarity or intrigue in your ad. High cost per clicks will make everything further down the funnel struggle, which is why you need to figure this out first. That's shown right in Breezeway.
And then it gives you a pro tip.
Yeah, so then it goes and says, well, how can you improve your cost per click? Well, it says customers make 80% of their decision to click based on your creative. So if you have clarity in your headline, primary text, description, but not in your creative, you'll lose clicks. So it's telling you work on your creative, make it clearer what your product is, all of that. So now you scroll through, identify the red, hover over it, it tells you what to fix. Boom, that's simple. Now, as you can see, let's head back over to like the spend trend. We kind of covered the color coding, we covered the highlight for recommendations and stuff, but let's look at the spend trend, because this is probably my second favorite feature of all of Breezeway, and it's so simple. It's just a bar graph, right? But it is like leaps and bounds better. It's essentially trying to replace Meta's day-by-day breakdown. When you do a breakdown by day and it opens up an ad day, all the way down. It's like, how am I supposed to see trends on this? How do I see ROAS moving up and down or spend moving between ads here? And here's the thing, Meta, especially with Andromeda, moves spend between ads pretty frequently. And it's really hard to see that on Meta. If you look at 1 week worth of time on Meta, and it's like, well, one ad got $500 and another one got $372, but you don't know when they got that. And to do a breakdown, once again, is just so difficult. So here you can actually see the $500 in spend that the first ad got here was pretty consistent over the whole length of the ad running until right at the end. And once again, for you guys listening on audio, it'll be hard to kind of understand what's happening here, but I'm looking at a bar graph of the spend pretty much straight until right at the end of the bar graph, the spend drops off, and ad number 2, the spend drastically picks up. So you can see Meta shifted all of the spend into this ad all of a sudden. It had been running the whole time, but all of a sudden shifted all the spend into it. And then what's really cool about the spend trends is once you go over to like CPA or ROAS, we overlay the break even and the target ROAS or CPA that the BreezeBrain calculated for you on top of the bar graph. So you can actually see a pink line moving between your break even and your target. So you can see how often you are above break even or above target, below target within those ranges. So it's so easy to see trends and identify, hey, you had 3 bad days right here. Let's figure out why that happened.
Another thing though I'm going to note right here though is like a lot of times we think we're seeing trends, but it's not a statistical trend.
It's a flat line pretty much.
So this is like some people will look at this, and I was doing this on a coaching session yesterday. They said, well, everything's trending bad. I'm like, there's technically no trend in this. You had 1 really, really good day and 2 really bad days, and it says no trend. You think there's a trend because you did like 10x what you normally would on this day, and then goose eggs or really low numbers the next 2 days. And it's like, no, that's just noise, but there's technically not a trend. So this will tell you when there's a strong trend up, or a semi-trend up, flat, down, etc. So
and this is using like, advanced statistics, which Josh and I really don't understand much of, in order to calculate if it's a true trend or if it's just essentially noise. So when you see a dashed line next to your trends, it means there is no trend up or down. You'll see extreme trends up, which I don't see. Oh, here's this is a minor trend down, and then this is like an extreme trend down where it's a straight down line. And then you'll see the same for trends up. But it just, once again, at a glance, you can see how things are moving. And I love the ROAS. Here's an example of a much larger campaign that's running for a longer period of time that has a little more swings in the ROAS. You can see days where there were no purchases. You can hover over the days with purchases and see day by day ROAS, and you can compare, okay, my best day was a 6, my worst day was a 0.6. And it's so easy to compare that all right in here versus breakdowns in Meta.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's really nice about this is like if you go back to the dashboard, In Meta, if you want to know of any, hey, is my cost per click trending in a good way, or is my ROAS or the number of purchases I'm getting, or the CPA or my spend, is it trending in any direction on your campaign ad set or ads? You literally have to do a day over day breakdown and just like look at these tables and hope that you can think so. But oftentimes it's just noise and it's hard to really track. But this, if you go back to the dashboard, you could just tell right away, oh, this one's going up. This is flat, 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 flat. Oh, this one's going down a little bit. And so you're able to see like, okay, the spend is going up on this ad set or ad or whatever it is. And yet the spend is going up, but my CPA is also going up and my ROAS is going down. Ooh.
Yeah.
In like 5 seconds, I could see all those metrics and be like, okay, I need to see what's going on here.
It's so hard not to get into teaching mode because like I love when you see big spikes of spend on an ad and then you go out to like the campaign level and you see a big dip in ROAS right in line with the spike of the spend that would have been nearly impossible to see on Meta. So this is probably an example of this where there's a huge spike in spend. I can see a red CPA here. So this ad didn't really do that well when Meta gave it spend. I bet if we took this time frame here and we went to the campaign level, the ROAS for the whole campaign would be worse here. And then all of a sudden Meta decided to put a bunch of spend into it here. I bet it would start to show that trend on the campaign level because it all kind of boils up to the campaign, but it's so hard to see that when you can't see details like this.
Yeah, the analysis. Is there anything else you want to cover on the ads manager?
No, I think this is good. Let's move on to the ad launching. So ad launching is something new, and this may not be out on launch. So this will be coming soon. If you don't have it, it'll be hopefully within the next few weeks. But ad launching is, once again, trying to accomplish all the same things we've already talked about. Meta is just bloated, right? Like everything it has is just, they add new things without removing old things, so it just gets stacked with a bunch of stuff. The ad launcher here is super easy to understand. So I'll go ahead, I have to type here, which is, we'll just do test. All right, so here's the ad launching. I don't have any creatives prepared to actually show an ad launch here, but I'll give just like a little rundown. So already you're starting to see how simplified this is. Campaign name. The objective, we only offer sales right now because this is specifically for e-commerce. So most likely 90% of people are going to be launching a sales campaign. So we offer sales, CBO, ABO, and specifically tells you, because CBO and ABO are, relatively advanced terms. So it explains what those terms mean and how that works. You can set daily lifetime budget and you can put in your budget amount. Super simple. Then at the ad set level, you can bulk create ad sets. Say I want to create 3, 4, 1, whatever. You can hit create and it'll automatically create those ad sets.
And it gives them a fun name.
It doesn't give them a fun name. I like that. Other than ad set 1, ad set 2, ad set 3, it's curated social bite, jazzy traffic duck. I like the fun names.
Yeah, that is fun.
I debated if the fun names should be included or not, and I decided on yes. It gives it a little personality. Now watch how simple this is. Conversion location, website, performance goal, set for you. Data set, tells you what it is. Conversion event, set for you. You don't have to come in here and customize and question, what conversion event should I use? What performance goal should I use? We're giving you the recommended things that we use all the time, and just oversimplifying all of this. Budget scheduling you can do, audience you can do, but really once this is created, once an ad set's created, change the name and you can pretty much move on, unless you need to change your audience or your start and end date. It's super simple. Now, one of my favorite things about the ad launching is the way we build ads, because I feel like when you build an ad in Meta, it's kind of like ambiguous. It's like, it's kind of top down, where it's like you set your name and then you scroll down through a bunch of settings that you don't really need at that time. And then now you insert your creative. But like creative is the most important part of your ad. So we put creatives all the way at the front, because when you're thinking about your ads and you're thinking about how you're going to launch ads and the messaging for your ads and all of that, creative should be like the number one thing you're thinking about. So that's why we have it first. So when you click create a new ad, it gives you the ability to name the ad, and then you can upload your creative right here. The creative upload here is so simple. You hit plus, it opens your file management, you click it, and it uploads. It's that fast. You don't have to search through Meta's, you have 10-year-old photos in your Meta ads manager from stuff you launched 10 years ago. You just add it, upload it, Super simple. And then you can also upload multiple aspect ratios. Same way, 1, 2, 3. You don't have to click through and say, I want to upload multiple and then add them all. You can just do it right here really simply.
What's good about this is like super fast. So like Dylan, go up and hit create new ad like 3 times or something.
Boom.
Yeah, you could just go in. So like, let's say the problem with like Meta that's really annoying, like the ads manager, is it's like, I want to launch an ad set. Well, I have to build one ad set. And it's like, okay, now I need to go build all the settings of the ad set. And then I need to go and I need to create the first ad and then complete the first ad. And then it's like, well, I'm putting 5 creatives in here. So I now need to duplicate that and go rename everything. And then this one's going to have square. I'm going to have different aspect ratios of each of those.
Oh, and don't forget that when you duplicate it, it changes everything.
And then every time you duplicate it, it's like all of the settings get turned on and Meta's trying to sneak in all these new AI features that it wants or whatever it is. And it like messes with everything. And so this is nice because you're like, for this launch that I'm going to do in this ad set, we're going to go ahead and have 4 or 5 ads. And you're just like, boom, 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 boom. And then suddenly you have all of the ads right there. You name them all in one page, so it's all in one visual. And then you say, okay, I'm going square, so I don't need aspect ratios. Or I do, so I just check mark the box. And suddenly I could just upload the aspect ratios for all of my ads on this page, and then I'm done thinking about creative, and then I can move to the next ad set or the next setting.
And then the other thing that I love about this, I guess let's just move on because we'll get to it. The ad settings. All right, we're already here. I love this button right here, bulk edit. So nice. You can just click bulk edit, click all your ads, and now everything that you change over here for your settings changes on every single ad.
Yeah, which is it's so annoying. Again, the whole you duplicate an ad and then you lose the UTM parameters, or you lose the whatever that thing is, that setting, and then having to go back to each individual one.
Yep.
This is so helpful. And we even put in, it looks like we have automatic UTM parameters.
These are the recommended Breezeway UTM parameters, so you didn't have to question what those are. We always say, always use UTM parameters, and people are like, what the heck is a UTM? You don't have to ask. It's just right there. just use this. Once again, really simple. It shows you what Facebook page, Instagram page. There are some things we threw in here that don't really need to be here because you're not going to change it. We just wanted to show you what you were doing so you knew, okay, it's going to the right page. But a lot of this doesn't even need to be here because it's so simplified. You can set your call to action, your destination URL, your display URL, you're done. Hit save. That's it. You've configured the
Versus, you know what's annoying? When you have to do every time you duplicate an ad, you have to literally insert the URL, and you know what happens? It pulls in the catalog and it pulls in the site links, and you have to like clear the catalog if you don't want it and clear the site links. And it's like, this is like, nope, check all the ads. Where are they all going? Boom.
And then like, hopefully it hasn't like changed or removed your destination URL. Because I've seen that happen too. You duplicate it and it just removes part of it. And you're like, the point of duplicating was that it kept it. So now we don't really do duplication in Breezeway. It's just bulk edit it all at one time. Because it's, I feel like it's so much easier. And then there's the ad text. So you come into the ad text, once again, same feature. You can click bulk edit, select every single ad. Because typically, when we do ad sets, a lot of the ads have the same copy. So you can just select all the ads in an ad set, set your copy, hit save, you're done. No duplication, no customization, nothing like that. Now, if you want to have individual text for each ad, you can just turn bulk edit off and edit each one individually. Like, it's so simple. I love it so much. And if you're looking at this like as an advanced user and you're like, are there other settings? No, there aren't. But what's really cool about the way that Breezeway set up is once you hit launch, it throws all of your ads into Ad Manager unlaunched. So you can go in and you can tweak some settings if you want some more advanced settings, but you get to save so much time actually getting the ads put together and launched here in Breezeway.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is the enhancements, which you won't be able to see because I haven't uploaded any creatives here. But the enhancements is really simple. It allows all on, all off, or individual enhancements turned on. And once again, you can bulk edit. So you click bulk edit, you can select all those ads. You can either turn all enhancements on, all enhancements off, or pick and choose which ones you want to use. It's super, super simple. And then the last thing, once you get to the launch, it gives you an overview of everything that you're launching, your call to actions, your Facebook pages, your headlines, your primary text, your ad sets, the creatives. If there were creatives, you'd be able to see previews of those creatives. And then you hit launch ads, it throws it to your ads manager, and then you go to ads manager, you can make any final tweaks that you might need, and then hit launch on ads manager.
I would just say that this is underrated, I think, because like it's really nice when you're wrapping up a launch to make sure that everything is correct. So the cool thing about this is that you could just at a glance see if anything happens to be off. Like there are times like we've duplicated an ad in Ads Manager and it's supposed to be a different creative, but we forgot to upload the new creative. And so here you would see right away, oh, these two ads have the exact identical creative. I just need to go and I just need to like tweak these things right here. Or, oh shoot, this one doesn't have a URL, or I have the wrong URL.
Because there's no way to do that on Meta.
You'd have to click into each individual ad and hope that you found the issue. You'd click on the ad and you'd scroll down on the ad. And so, yeah, this is just literally built. It's like, it is a little, for those of you that are power users and know every single feature of Meta, it might feel a little bit boxed in. But here's the thing. We did it intentionally because there's actually way more glitches in Meta that slow you down than having too much than this. And here's why. Because even if you want other features that we don't have in here, which maybe in the future we do end up adding the ability to have more advanced stuff and pick and choose what you want in your ads launcher or something. I don't know. But for right now, the reason it's built for speed and what we know 95% of people just need or want anyway. And so you could come in here and use this for speed. Just launch your stuff. And then if there's anything you want to just pop on, hop into Ads Manager. It launches it in Ads Manager. So just hop into Ads Manager and then just go and flip those things on because we default them off. We default certain things off if they're not in here. And so all you have to do is just pop in Ads Manager if you want to use some abstract feature that most people aren't using.
Yeah, so, and I'll tell you, we've had a bunch of advanced users test this because obviously we've done a lot of testing with this, and the advanced users that we have had it, obviously we're using it and we love the speed savings, but the other advanced users that we did have test it said it saves so much time, and even they didn't find any settings in here that were absolutely necessary for their campaign. So really great. We got a few more features that I want to go over. We'll go over these a lot faster. The Ads Manager is the one that we get the most excited about because, I mean, that's really the bread and butter.
Core of what Breezeway is for.
It's to make your Ads Manager life easy. It makes it not daunting to get into Ads Manager and not know what you're looking at. So let's move to the CEO dashboard because this is kind of the next step of Breezeway. This is the automated CEO dashboard, and it obviously gives you all the metrics that you need. It's got revenue, orders, AOV, new customers, new orders, meta spend, ad spend percentage, 30-day ad spend percentage, and then the ability to leave notes. Now, as simple as this looks, I made the joke as I was filming videos. It looks like a spreadsheet because it is. It's just a simple spreadsheet. But the fact that we can pull metrics in, you can leave notes, it automatically aggregates weekly and monthly. You can add additional columns. You can remove columns you don't need. And then
you have Amazon or Etsy or like or TikTok, you could pull. I just want to note these. Yeah, you can pull these in. Those are really, or even custom. If you have like custom channels, like you have wholesale or something, you could have these other editables have like revenue and orders and ad spend related to that. And then it rolls everything up into your total sales, your blended percentages.
Yeah, and Breezeway is not integrated right now with a majority like Amazon, Etsy, Pinterest, TikTok, but it does give you the ability to use them because we had a lot of people asking, but the integrations for a lot of these tools are somewhat challenging. So we're working on integrations for them. But for right now, you can come in and and I've actually seen this. I was coaching someone on Tuesday and I saw every single day they went in and put in their Amazon revenue. Yeah. And it was cool to see that being used. And just really cool that people are actually using it and taking advantage of it. But yeah, being able, so this one's actually really cool. New AOV. I really like this one. So you can actually compare your new customer AOV to your regular AOV and see the difference of like, oh, maybe my ads are bringing in lower AOV customers, and you can optimize based on that. It's just really cool. Some of the things that you can pull in here. Some of these are also organizable, so you can like move revenue around, and they can't be moved outside of the bin that they're in. But you can kind of sort them based on how you want, and it'll be saved. And then the last thing is obviously the notes and the ad spend percentage. The ad spend percentage is really cool because it gives you a really, really cool visual of how your ad spend is moving day over day. So this is on the daily view, and you can see ad spend percentage, at the highest point for this brand was 36%. And let's see actually what note was left here. Oh, identified a meta outage. Look at that. So she literally was able to say, hey, my ad spend percentage was so high this day because Meta had an outage. And now we're able to look at this and be like, well, why was my ad spend percentage so high? Click, oh, identified an outage. Great. So what caused it to come back down then? Changed pop-up offer to 10% instead of 15%. Okay, so that's going to give more margin in the business. That's cool. And then 35%.
There's like new budget there.
New banner on homepage and customer love, restocked a bunch of things. So, getting back in stock. And look at this. As this has gone down, 36% today, 24% running. So you're able to see, first off, just the trend of how your ad spend percentage is moving day over day. But then you can, if you leave proper notes, which obviously we encourage you to do, if you leave proper notes, you can also go back and see what caused things to move either up or down.
And I would say that what I love about a CEO dashboard like this is like you could have like a Shopify dashboards or use like DataBox or you have some other reporting tool. And I will tell you, we've used them for years and they look really pretty and nice, but there's nothing like a spreadsheet that is easier to read, like what your actual trends look like and more practically. And the thing about this is you have daily, so it pulls in daily, and then it will also roll up into weekly and then also into monthly so that you can observe all of these metrics daily, weekly, monthly to have pulse on your business. And then also leave notes. Like the fact that so many people don't leave notes on their business. Like it's so important to know if you change your free shipping threshold, if you increase pricing this day, if you lowered the pop-up from 15 to 10%, that could change conversion. If something happened, we could then go back to that most recent thing. So like
what's really cool on the notes thing, if you go to the weekly and you look at the notes on the weekly level, it actually pulls in all the notes from the daily level. So you can actually see like, oh, what happened this week that caused things. So you can leave notes on a daily level and then reference them on a higher level on the weekly, which is just kind of cool. It's something that you can't do in a spreadsheet at all.
I actually did not even know that.
Yeah,
that's brand new.
I don't actually know when this was integrated.
Yeah, because I know previously you'd have to manually leave weekly and monthly, but they just started rolling them up.
Yep. So
I'm
now
glad we did that.
You can literally look at, what happened this week? Click and identify everything that happened.
Oh, that's really cool. Great. Yeah.
Yep.
Good. That's really cool.
And then the last thing is going to be the customer journey. Actually, let's look at metrics. No, we'll do customer journey, which will lead into metrics. Customer journey. This is like, oh yeah, and by the way, Breezeway is an attribution tool. Because we've already talked through all the things that Breezeway can do, and probably if we left it at that, it'd be great. But Breezeway was initially built as an attribution tool, like Josh talked about at the beginning, and then we kind of started shifting into more of the coach in your pocket type software. But the attribution stuff got left here, which is great. And we do hope to do some cool things with the attribution in the future. But right now, it gives us some pretty cool data that we can at least present to you that you can kind of just tease through and look at yourself. So here's the customer journey that you can see for this brand. This is a really interesting example. The Google Organic was where they first found the brand. But then they ended up buying from Klaviyo Flow, which is really cool because now you can see, well, they found me through Google, but my email converted them. And then you can actually see when they purchased, days it took. So it actually took them 3 days from finding you on Google to buying through your email flow. You can click in here and you can see it's actually 3 days, 44 minutes, and 35 seconds. But you can see what pages they landed on and what they looked at, what products they looked at. You can also see where they went to actually purchase. You can see when they converted and how many times that they landed on your page and all this kind of stuff. And then it also will tag if they use like certain apps on your page, like this one has Kaching bundles. So that's really cool. Like I said, this is really just it's a simple way to look at your customer journey. Now this is it's not a triple whale, it's not a Hyros, but it's not trying to be. It's trying to be a coach in your pocket, and we threw in attribution because we could. Now, what's really cool about the attribution is it does give us some interesting metrics that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. So I'm going to pull up the metrics tab here, which, like I said, this is just kind of a generic visual for any metrics. So you have like graphs for your ad spend percentage. You have graphs for second click. You have graphs for conversion rate, for add to carts, all this stuff, just so you can kind of visualize everything. But you may have seen a few things here, like days to purchase. This is really cool because it shows you 76.5% in the last 14 days, 76.5% of your purchases happened the first day that people heard about you. And then you can see day after day, 4.5% more, 1.5% more, 0.8%, 1.5%. And then you can see the spread of how long it takes for someone to actually buy from you. So it's cool. 76% is actually pretty good. that 76% of people buy on day one.
And this tells you, now we get into teaching here, but like this does tell you that like, yeah, 25% of people clicked and it took them more time to buy.
Yeah.
But you can kind of look at this days 8 to 14 and then 15 plus. So days 8 to 14, you have 8.3% of people buy in days 8 to 14. So it takes a little bit more than 1 week. And it begs the question, well, how could we speed that up just a little bit? Maybe I could run more retargeting campaigns. Maybe I could tweak my emails to make them a little bit more aggressive, to like bump that down the line. So then they're breaking even in less time.
And it's kind of interesting too. We're now breaking this down. It's interesting because the 1 day 76%, almost nothing happens 2, 3, 4, 5 days. 2, 3.
I mean, day
2,
2
3,
is
5, 6.
4.5% of people buy in day 2. So that's
a good bump. But I mean, 3, 5, 6 is only an extra 3% of people over those whole days. But then you add 8% on 8 to 14. This is just it's clarity on data that first off you wouldn't get anywhere else, because where else are you going to find like actual days to purchase other than like an expensive attribution tool? But then also it gives you metrics that can help inform decisions that you're making. And then over here you can see last click attribution. So you can hover over this and see, 53 people ordered through Google Organic, meaning they went to Google and searched for you and bought from Google. 45 came from Facebook ads, 37 were other, and 24 were direct. So it's cool. You can kind of see a breakdown of where people are buying from you and the number of orders that you had and all of that. And the last thing I think here is kind of cool, second click percentage. How many people click 2 times on your page? It basically just shows how many people are interested enough from your ads to continue going deeper on your page.
And also, go ahead and scroll down real fast. I think this is kind of interesting. We just put this in here because we ran into tech issues like with people. And this is we have a metapixel event quality index. So this is like for troubleshooting.
Which I feel like most people don't even know where to find this on Meta.
They don't. If you go to the events manager, like you'll be able to see like match rates of your different events, like add to cart or page view or initiate checkout or purchase or whatever. And so it will mark if it's yellow, red, or green. And then also it tells you the trend of it and the coverage of it in one view. So like we've had this happen where like you could see your match rate on Meta, but you don't know the trend of that match rate over time. And so this could tell you like, add to cart match rates went down you have gone down 10%. And I forget the time window that this is. In the last 14 days. In 14 days. Why did add to cart match rates go down? Or if you see something, this allows you to troubleshoot really, really fast.
Hey, at least purchase went up 2%.
Purchase went up. That's what really matters, right? So like this is actually really cool. And then one final thing, scroll to the top that I really like as well is it's conversion rate by days of the week.
Yep.
And so this is really valuable. It takes 3 months of data, and then it tells you your average conversion rate by day. And this is valuable because I could say, so if I'm looking at this right now, you see Sunday is 1.79%, Monday is 1.42, Tuesday 1.66, Wednesday 1.5, and then it's like Thursday 1.77, Friday 2.38, Saturday 1.75. So there's
everyone wants Disney t-shirts on Fridays.
Yeah,
apparently.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, highest conversion rate days. So what does that tell me? Well, it tells me I should probably launch all of my ads on Thursday, right? Because now I'm going to have the 3 strongest days when people are most likely to convert. Maybe because my conspiracy theory is always it's payroll week, right?
Yeah,
so Thursday or Fridays, people typically get paid and they're shopping and stuff like that. And so we usually will look at this and say, okay, our conversion rates are highest these few collective days of the week. So we're going to launch ads going into that. So we have just a greater possibility of getting some momentum fast with that.
Phew. There's Breezeway.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're here. We're finally saying Breezeway is public. Now, obviously, it is limited to 25 people. It doesn't mean that we won't obviously open it up more in the future. So keep an eye out if you can't get in this first 25, because I'm anticipating
it'll go fast,
a lot of people not being able to get in this first round. We will obviously open this up more. I don't know if we'll do the one-on-one thing again. So if you are interested in that, I would definitely grab that if you still can. But keep an eye out. We will be rolling this out intermittently. With software, you'll find it's best to go slow, because if we let a bunch of people in at one time, there's going to be a lot of bugs and you guys won't have a good experience. So we're going to go slow, roll this out slowly over time. But like I said, keep an eye out because we'll do it again for sure.
Yeah, guys, check it out. Go to breezeway.co, or we're just going to have a link in the description. Go ahead and click that. But hopefully you found this valuable. Maybe you found this a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
I know that I did. I always love going through this tool, but obviously we are in this every day. So I still love it every day. I'm so excited to go to Breezeway. First thing I'm doing, I'm looking at CEO dashboard.
Oh, and I can't, like, people in our coaching that don't have Breezeway, I'm like, I just don't like coaching you, because I love being able to coach in Breezeway because it's so much easier to spot trends, so much easier to see things changing and moving. And when I have to, like, because I coach in Breezeway and then I have to switch to Ads Manager to coach, and I'm like, okay, let's do this, because it's just so much better in Breezeway.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm biased, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, we can still optimize an Ads Manager. It's just not as fun.
It's not as fun, yeah.
You can also go look at the CEO. Sometimes the CEO dashboard
Yes,
will
it's actually really insightful.
The CEO dashboard can tell you a lot, especially if there are notes and stuff. And maybe sometimes it's not an ads issue, and we can identify it based on ad spend percentages and so forth in the CEO dashboard. But all of that said, go get Breezeway. Be one of the 25. You have, because you're listening to the podcast, we love you more. And you have a 4-day head start on everybody before the first email goes out on Thursday to our list. And I would anticipate on Thursday all of the spots will be filled. If it's not already filled by then. So if you do not have Breezeway, Breezeway starts at $49 a month, and it goes up to $149. It's just based on your ad spend. Like if you're under $3,000 a month in ad spend, it's $49. If you're $3,000 to $10,000 a month in ad spend, it's $99, and if you're over $10,000, it's only $149. Most attribution tools alone will cost $300 to $500 a month. And if you're like a really heavy spender and you're spending $50 to $100 or several $100,000 per month, then you're looking at least $1,500 to $3,000 a month, depending on the software that you're getting. And so with this, you're kind of getting this ads manager, you're getting a CEO dashboard, you have personalized recommendations inside your ads manager that helps you analyze, it helps you save a lot of time. And honestly, it will help you make decisions without even needing to like have an agency. So like we're pretty much trying to make a tool that helps you launch and do the things that you need to do without needing to be an absolute expert in it, but rather just trusting the data based on your own
It's a Facebook
business.
coach in your pocket. Well, actually, a business coach, because it's more than just Facebook, but a business coach in your pocket. You just whip it out anytime, and you can see all your metrics and even get recommendations.
Heck yeah. So go check it out, guys. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.